higher education institutions based at Durham University in the United Kingdom. She works equally on behalf of the network partners to develop, implement, and evaluate a range of different activities based around research, education, and benchmarking. Before joining the network, Lucy spent almost 10 years working in international relations in local government. This involved setting up and monitoring numerous international projects focused on things such as language, culture, and sport. For participants ranging from local community groups for older people through to school children and university students.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucy Turzynski, and I'm here today on behalf of the Matariki Network of Universities. I am the network manager, and I've been invited here to say a few words of general introduction to the Matariki Network, which is a higher education network offering various opportunities for students and staff around the world. I know that many of you here are currently considering different opportunities for studying and working overseas. So hopefully you'll find this presentation interesting, and you may be tempted to find out a little bit more about what we can potentially do for you in the future. So, what is Matariki? The Matariki Network of Universities started life in 2010 at the University of Otago in New Zealand, when the former Vice-Chancellor had the idea of recruiting a group of like-minded universities to work together, with the idea that they could achieve more as a collective group than what they could independently and individually, hence the network strapline of partnering for a better world. He approached a number of other international universities, which he considered to be similar in terms of size, being research intensive, quite high ranking, and based outside of the major capital of its country, and the network was founded. Incidentally, the name Matariki is actually a Maori word originating from New Zealand, which is also the name of a constellation of 7 stars, the Pleiades cluster. 7 stars, 7 partners. You can see where the thinking was going there. We've recently celebrated our 10th anniversary and have created a special report to document our major achievements during this time. This report is also available electronically, and I will share the link with you at the end of my presentation in case you're interested to find out more. This is a visual representation of where in the world our partners are located. As you can see, we're very widespread, so we have quite a few challenges in terms of things like time zones and things like that, but it's very, very interesting in terms of bringing together a number of different cultures. I myself am based at Durham University in the United Kingdom, but I act equally on behalf of all 7 network partners. So just quickly to go through the partners, we have Durham University in the United Kingdom, the University of Tübingen in Germany, Uppsala University in Sweden, Queen's University in Canada, Dartmouth College in the USA, University of Western Australia in Australia, and the University of Otago in New Zealand. So it's a very eclectic mix. As you can tell, we haven't reached all of the world's continents just yet, but the Matariki Network Executive Board is currently exploring the opportunities of expanding the network to include partners from new geographical regions of the world. A strategy review is currently underway, and a need has been identified to diversify the network and introduce new perspectives and ideas. A nominations process is currently happening, whereby partners are being encouraged to think about which other institutions they currently work with may be a good addition to the Matariki Network of Universities. You may be pleased to hear that Africa has been highlighted as a particular region of interest. So we really value this opportunity to be able to connect and present to you in this forum today, as it could be the start of a very good working relationship going forward. So just a very short slide about the structure of our network, just to give you a better idea of how things work. The executive board at the top is made up of all of the vice-chancellors and principals of the 7 member institutions. They offer strategic direction to the network and make all of our major decisions. The international leads are the next layer down, and these are senior colleagues across the network who are responsible for internationalization and global education within their own institutions. They support the executive board and are tasked with screening new proposals and developing new initiatives, evaluating past projects, and so on. Underneath the international leads, there are a number of other groups who essentially put the plans into action and work on the ground to deliver and set up projects and new initiatives. Each of the member institutions has a dedicated Matariki coordinator who are usually my first point of contact when I want to set up new initiatives. So there are a number of moving parts within the Matariki Network of Universities, but essentially there are three main strands to what we do. The network did begin predominantly as a research-focused network, but this has evolved over the years to include more education and student experience activities, and also benchmarking or sharing best practice. This is kind of looking at different important issues which affect all of our institutions and working out how together we can perhaps overcome some of these problems. Each of our 7 partners leads on a specific research theme and will organise semi-regular workshops and events around this theme. These are our current 7 areas of focus for research. As I might have mentioned, our executives are currently reviewing the network, and they are going to meet in September and discuss lots of different things about the future of our network. One of the conversations they will be having is whether or not to keep these 7 distinct research themes, or whether perhaps to reduce the number and widen the scope of the themes in order to encourage greater collaboration between partners. So moving on then to look at the various student activities and opportunities within the network, since I'm sure that this will probably be of the greatest interest to those of you here today. These are a few examples of some specific student and education activities within the network over recent years. So the first one here on the list is all about formal student exchange. We have special student exchange agreements in place between all of our members to allow students to undertake a period of formal study in another member institution. The Matariki Indigenous Student Mobility Programme brings together Indigenous students from across the network, as there are quite a few of our partners who have Indigenous communities within the local population. And this gives them the chance to explore and discuss different issues affecting Indigenous peoples, comparison of experiences of what it's like to be an Indigenous, a member of an Indigenous community in the current state of affairs. It's a real cultural exchange within our network, and it's very highly valued for staff as well as students. The Global Citizenship Programme is a very successful part of our network. Previously, we offered an in-person student forum in 2018 and 2019, but more recently, this moved online due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We wanted to make sure that our activity and momentum was not lost during this time, so we worked in partnership with Common Purpose, who you may have heard of. They're a non-profit international education provider, in order to deliver a 3-week online programme for students around global citizenship and the Sustainable Development Goals. Students are encouraged to think about ways in which they can help to advance one or more of these goals within their own local communities, as well as giving them the opportunity to share ideas and experiences with peers across the globe. We also offer global citizenship student internship placements, and these are short-term volunteering opportunities which are fully funded by the network. Unfortunately, we have a temporary halt on these also due to COVID, but we are hoping to start them up again very soon. And finally, we have a new COIL, Collaborative Online International Learning Training Programme, which helps teachers to set up and deliver virtual exchange opportunities for students as part of a credit-bearing module, so not just an additional thing beyond the traditional curriculum. These are great for widening participation and increasing access to intercultural learning. This COIL training programme is being run actually in partnership with the Durban University of Technology in South Africa. DUT colleagues are very, very experienced in this area, and they are helping to upskill our members of staff in this virtual exchange sphere. We're hoping to show them the value of these initiatives, as well as to process how to effectively set things up, what is involved. We're really hoping to open new doors for online exchanges, allowing greater access to intercultural learning for those who are unable to travel, perhaps due to financial reasons, health restrictions, caring responsibilities, or simply just not wanting to be away from home for a long period of time. We find that these virtual exchanges are a great introduction to international education for young learners and are very accessible to most parts of the globe. Just wanted to take this opportunity to share a few pictures from our student events over the last few years. So these images here are from our Global Citizenship Programme Forum in Durham in 2019, and you'll see that there are students coming together and exploring a range of different issues, and it's really a fantastic social opportunity for them alongside an educational opportunity. These are more pictures from our forums. The top image there is of a visit to a local marae when we were in New Zealand, which is really taking on the cultural experience of the local community. And it was a really fantastic part of our visit. You might spot me in the picture there. These are some images from our Indigenous Student Mobility Programme, which, as I mentioned, offer a really valuable opportunity for young people from Indigenous communities to come together and really explore what it means to have that identity and how that fits in to perhaps a more modern, perhaps more colonised society. And there are lots of different issues to explore there, which I'm sure you'll find very interesting. So this slide is giving you a little bit more information about where you can find us online if you'd like to know a little bit more about what we do. I believe that these slides will be made available soon with the presentation, so you should be able to copy down the links if you're interested to find out more. You'll see we've got a website there, a Twitter profile, so please feel free to follow us and retweet our activities. You can sign up to our regular newsletter, which comes out 3 or 4 times per year. And also there's a link to the 10-year report that I was telling you about previously. I hope that's been a helpful whistle-stop tour of our network. It's very difficult to deliver this kind of presentation pre-recorded, and I'm only very sorry that I can't be there live to answer your questions. If you do have anything that you would like to know more about, or you want to perhaps just make some suggestions to us, please reach out to me on this email address, lucy.s.turzynski@durham.ac.uk, and I'd be very happy to connect with you and discuss a little bit more about how we work and the things that we can do. As I mentioned, we are not currently engaged in direct partnership work with Africa, other than our Durban University of Technology COIL learning programme, but we do hope that this may change in the coming months and years, and that we may be able to expand our reach into other parts of the world and really extend our opportunities for students and staff across the world. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you the very best of luck in your quest for international education opportunities. As I say, my name is Lucy Turzynski, and I really hope I can connect with you on a personal level very soon. Thanks very much.